Hello, hello. Welcome back to Calm AF. This podcast is for highly functioning humans who are fueled by dysregulation. What does that look like? From the outside, it looks like you've got your shit together. You're killing it. And from the inside, you look like you are spinning 8,000 plates, just waiting for one to drop. If you're new here, hi, I'm Kristen. Welcome to my space where we recalibrate your nervous system and upgrade your identity so that you can stop overthinking, people-pleasing, and energy managing your way through life and start trusting yourself. Because dysregulation isn't creating the life you want, it's keeping you from it. The last few weeks, we have been talking about chronic dysregulation, your nervous system's dispatcher, how nothing is getting filtered anymore. And we've been talking about the big costs of that, these big physical and emotional and mental costs of living with a nervous system whose default setting is dysregulated. Today, I want to go micro. I want to get little because most people think that if they feel chronically stressed, overwhelmed, exhausted, they need to look at their life and fix the big things. So change the job, change the relationship, make some big dramatic change. And sometimes that's absolutely true. Sometimes that is the answer. But before you can know that for sure, what you want to do is look for leaks. How is your energy leaking? How are you leaking power? Let's think about it like this. If I were to follow you around for 24 hours with my camera and my notes, watching everything that you were doing, and I'm not talking about a special day, I'm talking about an average weekday, a Wednesday at 3:15. I am pretty sure I would not see chaos. It might be busy. There might be a lot of things going on, but I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, how is this person still alive? This person has no skills. I know I would not see that if I followed you around. I would probably see from the outside someone who looks very competent, someone who is handling their shit, someone who is thoughtful. But if I were to slow it down and we went through your day frame by frame, I would be able to show you exactly where your energy, your power is leaking. So let me give you some examples. You draft an email and then you delete it and then you rewrite it softer this time. You're adding an emoji. You're adding some exclamation points. You reread it 5, 10, 500 times. When you are having a conversation with someone, a leak would be you starting a sentence with, this probably will sound silly, or I'm not sure, but energy leak. When you are having to give someone feedback or telling someone something uncomfortable, you would be prefacing it. You would be adding disclaimers like, I totally get where you're coming from. I'm so sorry. Energy leak. Someone is supposed to meet with you and they are 20 minutes late and they get there and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And you're like, oh, no worries. Energy leak. Not no worries, yes worries. Every time you were anticipating someone's disappointment, someone's anger before that person opened their mouth. Energy leak. When we slowed the frames down, went frame by frame, this is where your energy is leaking. It's not just the big issue of the job. It's not just the big issue of the relationship. It's all these little tiny micro leaks. And it's tricky because these things feel responsible. They feel very much like control, but actually that's not control. That's a leak There is a difference between being emotionally intelligent and energy managing. There is a difference between being kind and being a doormat. If you learned at some point that disapproval or disappointment or discomfort feels unsafe, then your system adapted and you learned to be the steady one, the easy one, the prepared one, the one who can read the room. That became your identity because identity is built in repetition, micro reps, just like when you go to the gym. Every time you pick up a weight and you do a curl, your bicep strengthens. You are building muscle memory. Every time you overexplain, you are practicing being someone who needs to justify their existence. Micro reps, muscle memory. Every time you cushion, every time you soften, every time you take responsibility for someone else's mood, you are practicing being the energy manager. Micro reps, muscle memory. You aren't who you think about, who you claim to be when you're writing in your journal. You are who you practice being at 3:15 on a random Wednesday when you get an uncomfortable email. It's the micro reps that you are putting in when you choose to pause instead of react. When you choose to pause before you say, no worries. It's the small pause when you don't rewrite that text again. When you just let your no be no. The pause is the rep. Muscle memory changes through repetition, not cinematic breakthroughs. This is why knowing isn't enough. Because you can agree with everything I'm saying and still 20 minutes from now be hyper vigilantly fixated on the email that you're trying to send or the person who hasn't texted you back yet. This is the energy leak. This is the identity leak. Identity shifting isn't dramatic. It's steady and it's built in micro reps, muscle memory, the tiniest decisions that you make when no one is watching. So this week, I want you to not overhaul your personality. Just get your reps in. One pause, one clean email, one moment where you don't justify your existence. This is how identity shifts. That is why I write those daily love letters. That's why these daily recalibrations exist. Not to inspire you, not so that you know again that you're worthy, but to give you one clean rep before your day begins. It's a daily recalibration, a message in your inbox. It interrupts your chronic dysregulation and it adjusts before the world starts pulling at you. Micro reps, muscle memory. You can sign up at the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening. I will see you next time.